Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 3 game, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. Part 3 game, y'all. Let's like, share, subscribe to y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. I was like, yo, bro, wow for that, man. I was like, this junk crazy. I said, yo, bro. I said, bro, I'm ready to take that player back, because the player was sitting right there. I was like, bro, I'm ready to take that junk back and give. He was like, nah, my homeboy was like, nah, bro, because I ain't trying to be like, I just let you do that. He was like, bro, however it got taken, if it got taken, it got taken. He was like, just go tell the dude. Just go tell. I was like, for real? He was like, bro, I don't care. He was like, I get to jump back to dude at lunch. So he was like, I'm about to get it back to dude anyway. So he was like, that's on him. I'm like, man, that's bro player over there, bro. Like, for real though. I was like, man, for real though, man, that's crazy, bro. He was like, man, look, bro, like, as long as you don't take it out my room for me, I don't care how you do it, bro. You can do whatever you want. I ain't got nothing to do with that. He was like, I don't care about that player. You know what I mean? He was like, that's just some pictures up there, that dude's, you know what I mean? Some naked pictures or whatever. I'm like, man, I gotta let bro know, man. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna holler back, bro. You know what I mean? So I dapped him up. He was like, man, handle your business. So I leave out. So as I'm walking out, walking down the tier, I look. I seen bro roommate. He wasn't in the shower yet. He was standing downstairs talking to the dude Jesse. So when I come to the top part of the steps, about to get ready to come down, I looked. They was looking at me. So I come down the steps. I'm just like, man, this junk crazy. Man, I hit the steps. When I get to the bottom of the steps, I see the dude Jesse was like, hey, Weezy, right? Hey, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you right quick. I'm like, what's up, man? What you gotta holler at me about? He was like, did you see that player that was in their room? I was like, yeah, I saw that jump. Yeah, I saw that jump. I just keep walking. So he walking with me now as I'm getting to the door. I'm like, yeah, I saw that jump. Yeah, I saw that jump, man. What you about to do now? I was like, man, I'm about to go back to my pod, man. He was like, man, he had this stupid look on his face, like he wanted to say something so bad, but he trying to check my temperature. I know what's going on, bro. You know what I mean? He trying to check my temperature. So he just like, I was like, what you about to ask me about that player? You about to ask me about that stolen player, huh? He was like, that's my player, man. I was like, yeah, I bet it is, man. I said, man, listen, I'm gonna tell you, bro. I said, I was hitting that player before any of y'all in this pod, bro. I said, dude wasn't even dealing with nobody in y'all pod, man. You know what I mean? I said, somebody stole his junk, bro. I said, you the one that stole it, though, man? He was like, I didn't steal nothing. I ain't steal nothing. I said, man, look, somebody stole it. I said, somebody stole it, bro. At the end of the day, I rock with dude, man. What you want me to do? I said, you lucky I ain't just take the junk from upstairs. He said, nah, you can't take it because that's mine. You can't, how you gonna take something? We try to get loud a little. I said, look, bro, I ain't trying to argue with you, man. I said, look, I'm not the one who you have to explain this to, bro. He was like, who I gotta explain it? I said, bro, look, don't worry about it, bro. He said, I'm saying, like, I might as well have a problem with you if you about to just leave out here and put some dudes on me. I'm like, bro, listen, do what you gotta do, bro. You know what I mean? I turned around, I looked at him like, bro, what's up? Like, what's up? What you trying to do, saying? Like, were you feeling froggy or something? If you feeling froggy, you need to leap then. So boom. That's how I really felt. Like, bro, what's up with you? What's good? He was like, he just went up the steps. So I guess he went up there to get the player. So the lady let me out. Push. Walking apart. I'm like, swerving, looking around. Where Bram at? Looked around. I seen his homeboy. When I was a maniac in the beginning, when the junk got taken the first time. I was like, hey, bro, where Bram at, bro? He was like, he in the cell. What's up? Everything good? I was like, nah. Everything ain't good, man. I was like, man, we got a thief. We got somebody, it's a thief running around the building, man. I was like, nah, we done found out who it is. I said, well, yeah, he's in the cell. I straight went up the steps. Knocked on the door. Yo! I say, bro, I need to holler at you, bro. He was like, hold on. He came out, and him stood on the tip. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, bro, listen, you ain't gonna believe this, bro. He like, what? I said, bro, my good word, bro. I said, man, I went over to 31 to get lit with my homeboys. I said, man, his celly up that joint looking at a player. I said, the man said he had some freak pictures in the joint, so I wasn't even thinking about it's your joint, bro. I said, you know, it's been almost 3 months since that joint got stolen. He was like, yeah. I said, man, and you know, as I grabbed a player, started looking at the pictures, I said, like, at first I ain't even see, like, it was other pictures in there. I said, but when I got back to the beginning of the pictures, I said, that's when I seen the lady with the heels holding her legs open, bro. You know what I mean? The butt naked jank. So he was like, for real? So he was like, you think that's my player? I was like, bro, I know that's your player, bro. I said, that's your player, bro. He was like, who? I said, bro, you not gonna fucking believe. I said, bro, you not gonna believe this, bro. He was like, man, who Weezy, man? You better not tell me it's one of my homeboys, man. He said, please, Weezy, don't tell me that, bro. He said, man, I'm begging you, bro. I said, nah, it ain't none of your homeboys, man. He was like, who is it then? I said, bro, the barber dude, James, got it. He was like, the dude in 31 Pod. I'm like, yeah. He was like, how he get it? How he get it? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know, bro. He was like, man, that's crazy, man. He was like, you sure, bro? He was like, cause I tried to rock with him. I said, bro, listen to me. I ain't gonna lie. I said, my homeboy was just renting it out. You know what I mean? I said, my homeboy said he was about to give it back just on the strength that I was coming to holler at you about this. I said, usually I don't even be getting in no BS like this, though, bro. I was like, but the dude, James, though, bro, I said, man, like, he wilding. How do he have your player? I said, this is your player, bro. I said, how could he deny you of looking at that thing and you seeing all your old pictures in there, bro? He was like, I know, bro. He's like, I got family pictures in there too, Weezy. I'm like, man, dude, wow, man. I was like, man, he was like, say no more. Say no more. He went back in the cell. You know what I mean? When he left out, when he went back in the cell, I walked down a little bit and I went down the steps and I looked, his homeboy was coming up the steps the other way. So his homeboy, he walked past, he was like, everything good? I was like, go holler at him, bro. So he went in there, joined his homeboy. All I heard his homeboy was like, man, get out of here, man. You lying. You lying. That's word. I looked, the door opened up, them boys getting strapped up. They call their homeboy up there. Them boys getting strapped up. Because right now, the way they feeling, it's time for war, y'all. So boom. Crazy? Somebody stole from you and the evidence is out. Man, I didn't care about none of this, man. I go in the pod, I'm like, yo, man, John crazy. Dude, James a thief. Dude, James a thief, man. Ain't no way in the world he got this dude JP5, man. You know what I mean? There's no excuse behind this, man. Dude is a thief. He's a rat thief. That's who he is, man. So, like, I'm like, this junk crazy. So I see them boys getting ready. Them boys getting ready, man. So they come down the steps. They come down the steps. His man was like, look, like, all us go out here, bro. We gonna beat them down. Don't get the player. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, we need to go in that pod. That's what we need to do. We need to go in that pod, bro, after dinner. You know what I mean? We need to go in that pod when they call 7 o'clock rec. So I told you I was just getting warm. So we got rec 3 times a day. So 7 o'clock rec, that usually happen after count, after 6:30, something like that. Then it's 7 o'clock rec. That's another time dudes be roaming around in the buildings and all of that. Sometimes in other buildings, you know what I mean? Dudes be doing that when it's outside rec at night. So they was like, look, we just gonna go over there around that time. So the whole time, dude was out there in the barbershop. So, you know what I mean? Ram ain't saying nothing to him. Ram called me back over there. They all standing by the brick wall. He was like, Weezy, this joint crazy, man. He was like, I rock with you, though, bro. He was like, man, that's crazy. You stumble across that like that. I said, bro, listen. He's not going to be, tell him, let you see that player, bro. He's not going to deny you, man. You know what I mean? He can't deny you, bro. He got 2 players, bro. You know what I mean? So the joint was like, man, I was like, man, this joint, wow, man. He was like, yeah, bro, I got a hand. I'm just letting you know. You know what I mean? We going over that joint, bro. I was like, bro, they deserve it. He stole your player. I was like, bro, handle your business. Handle your business, bro. I said, dude, wild too, though, man. I was like, he was stumbling on his lies. I said, man, go over there and handle y'all business, man. You know what I mean? I already knew they weren't going over there with no weapons or nothing like that. They just going over there to put their hands and feet work in. You know what I mean? So I knew they was going to do it. So they were just waiting for 7 o'clock rec. So we came back from dinner. We locked down. They counted. Next thing you know, we coming out for outside rec. So lady said, stand by for outside rec. Stand by for outside rec. So I told myself, I was like, man, I'm so nosy. I'm about to go 229 again, y'all. So boom. I went over to 31 before they went over there. But not the one to do Marcus, just to make sure my man name was straight, everything was straight with my man, and he don't got the player and all of that. So when the count had cleared, I had told the lady, let me go over there. The lady that worked at the booth, she rocked with me. She already know when I asked the 229, I'm doing it for a reason and I'm coming back safe. I ain't gonna put her out there. I'm staying in the cell the whole time. So she let me out. I had dipped out there first. So my part was everybody was on standby for rec. I already knew that Ram and them was scrapped up. They was about to come in and put that work in. But still, though, I wanted to go check with my man just to make sure everything was straight with him. So I get in there. I dip up the steps. I go to my man, say, I was like, what's up, bro? His roommate was in there. His roommate was like, man, Weezy, man, what you do, man? I was like, what you mean what I do? Dude, a thief, bro. I said, I told you that's my man play across the hall, bro. What you talking about? He was like, man, he ain't steal that junk, Weezy, man. I said, bro, listen. I ain't trying to hear. I said, look, bro, I ain't trying to hear all that. I said, look, hey, bro, you straight? Y'all ain't got that joint in here, dude. He was like, no, I gave it back to dude. I ain't got it no more. He said, I don't care about it, Weezy, man. I told you, man. I was like, man, bro, listen, bro. I went and let dude them know, man. He was like, yeah, I rock with Ram too, though, man. He was like, but I ain't never know that was his junk, though, man. I'm going to tell him that, too, when I see him. I said, nah, you already know you my bro, man. You ain't got nothing to do with this junk, man. I said, nah, your roommate on the other hand, he was like, man, his roommate was like, man, come on, man. I don't do no stealing. I don't do no. I'm like, bro, listen. Long as y'all ain't got the player, that's what I came to check though. I said, I also came to be nosy. I said, because Ram and them about to come over this jump, bro. I said, they were just waiting for 7 o'clock rec. My homeboy was like, I kind of figured that. Like, I kind of figured he was coming though, man. I was like, man, where James at? He was like, he downstairs in his cell. So I'm like, man, this junk crazy. I was like, this junk wild. This junk finna be crazy. So lady said, exit out for outside rec. Exit out for outside rec. Everybody start going out. Everybody that didn't know about this situation. So as I just seen people, me and bro came out and stood in front of his door. He like on the same part on the top tier where I'm at in my pod. So we right on the railing right there. So we watching everybody go out. Everybody go out. Everybody going out. Everybody going out. As people going out, you just seen a couple dudes kind of like just squeezing through the crowd, kind of like just let me in this way. Like dudes getting skinny. You know what I mean? They get into the pod. I look, I see his Ram and his 2 homeboys. They come in the joint. You know what I mean? Ram got the scully pulled down low, looking like a real maniac. That's my word. So I say, bro, there they go right there. There they go right there. My homeboy was like, yeah, I see him. I was like, man, that's what's up, James. And he was like, he under us. I'm like, man, that's crazy. He was like, let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. So I was like, man, I don't want the lady to see me. I don't want to disrespect her or have thinking I'm out in the pod. He was like, nah, you good. Come on, everybody at rec. So we go downstairs. We go down the stairs. I look. They walking down under us, going to bro's cell. So when we come down the steps, we went over here, like that part of the pod, and we just leaned on the table like this. So we all over there by the table. So this is my word. They went on that jump, knocked on the door. I was like, hey. All you seen was the doors knock on the door. James comes to the door. What's up? Dude around was like, hey, look, where my player at? He was like, man, I ain't got. He just stole him, y'all. That's my word. Punched him right in his mouth. Boom. And they just went in his room. They just went in his room. They just start pounding on him, man. They just start beating him up. So we hear, we like, shh. I'm saying to myself, like, I be feeling sorry when a situation like this, man. But if you stole, you deserve this situation, y'all. So boom, you deserve this, man. So they in there walking the dogs on him. My word, they walking the dogs on him, beating him up. You can hear it. He in there on ball up mission. There's 3 dudes on him. There's 3 dudes on him, man. I look up, my homeboy roommate standing on the top of the steps, like where the steps end at to come down. He's standing up there right under him, his best friend, right under him, his homeboy getting pounded on. He didn't help that man at all. He didn't help. He stood right there like this. So everybody that stayed in the park, everybody like, oh my God, they beating the brakes off him. He's like, man, what you steal my player for, man? He's like, I ain't steal it, man. All right, man, I ain't steal it, man. I ain't steal it. They still beating him up. That's my word. They grab the player. Where the player at? Where the player? He's like, I ain't got it, man. All right, right there. Look under my bed, man. Look under my bed. So they grabbed that junk. Ram was like, man, this is my player, man. What you doing with my player, man? What you doing? What you doing with my player? What you doing? I just start beating him up again. So I'm like, that's crazy, man. I was like, man, dude, wow to have somebody else player, man. Like, I'm telling y'all, man, like, this was a crazy situation, man, that somebody stole, bro, that somebody stole his player, man. I'm telling you, man, that's my word. You like, man, that junk crazy. So they pound him, they beat him down. They beat him bad, man. They beat the brakes off him, man. They beat the brake. I'm telling you, they beat that man for like 5 minutes. Then they finally come about the jump. They come about the jump, man. I looked at Ram was like, man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, my player, man. Yeah, man, y'all got a thief, man. Yeah, that's y'all got a thief as y'all barber, man. Yeah, man, he took my player, man. That's where they just left him in the joint, you know what I mean? So the lady let him out. I told my homeboy, I'm gonna holler back. I left out with them. This word, we get out. We get back out in the pod. We get in the pod. Ram was like, man, look at this jump, man. That man had my player the whole time, wheezing, man. I was like, bro, I told you, bro. He was like, man, I appreciate you, man. He was like, man, that was some real shit, Weezer, man. He was like, man, nigga, a motherfucking thief, man. I was like, bro, I can't believe that nigga did that shit, bro. I was like, he the fucking barber, man. I was like, man, this shit crazy, man. I was like, man, this shit wild. So, goddamn, them niggas was all riled up. You know, they had adrenaline running. They just kicked the nigga ass and got away with the shit. So, goddamn, my man called me to the door. That's in 31. So, I go back to the door. I'm like, what's up? He like, hey. He was like, man. He was like, shh. I was like, yo, dude fucked up. I was like, they fucked him up. He was like, I mean, he high, but you know what I mean? Yeah, they whooped his ass, though. He good. I'm like, damn. So, he like, come out in the hallway. I'm like, I hate the butt. She said, no, I ain't let you out, White, because you was out there in that pod. I know y'all were doing something y'all was supposed to be doing. I said, no, I'm such and such. I said, I'm just going to holler at my cousin right here. He right here waiting for me. She was like, hurry up. She let me out. And she let him out. So we met in the hallway. He was like, hey, look, this joke crazy, man. I was like, what? He was like, man, look, man, y'all, man, they beat the shit out of that nigga Weezer, man. I was like, I know, bro. I told him they was going to beat the brakes off his dumb ass, man. I was like, that nigga wildin', man. He got another nigga player, bro. They got his family shit in there. I said, yeah, he written the shit out. You know what I mean? I said, but still though, bro, that's that man's shit. You know what I mean? He like, shh, man, that shit crazy though. He was like, but that ain't the crazy shit though. I'm like, what? He like, man, look. He was like, man, the nigga got down. Jesse said he gonna tell Ram anyway. I was like, what? He was like, man, he said he ain't the one that stole the shit. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, my roommate was like, yeah, he ain't steal the shit. I was telling y'all he ain't steal the shit. I'm like, man, he had to steal the shit, bro. He work out in the barber shop. He saw his moment to go knock the shit off. It was easy. You know what I mean? Why not steal it? Everybody out. The lady opening the doors up. It was an easy play. He stole the shit, bro. What the hell is y'all talking about? He was like, nah, nigga ain't steal the shit, man. He was like, man, my roommate's such a fucking coward, bro. He was like, that nigga's not gonna lie, bro. The nigga's not gonna lie. He didn't steal the shit, Weezy, man. So I was like, how the fuck he end up with it? He was like, cause he bought it. He bought it from the nigga that stole it. So I'm like, he bought it from a nigga. He was like, yeah, nigga sold him the shit. He was like, of course, another nigga ain't gonna want to hold another nigga player that he stole the shit from, you know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, who the fuck he buy it from then, bro? He was like, man, he bought it from Tyrone in y'all pod. We gonna call this nigga Tyrone. He was like, he bought it from Tyrone in y'all pod. My word on everything, y'all. Y'all know who Tyrone was. Man, Tyrone was the nigga on the jack that he told him watch the shit while he was in child hall, y'all. So boom. I was like, oh, shit. I said, man, that nigga's a low down, dirty, rotten, crazy vato. And I don't like that, though. I don't like that, though. I said, man, that shit crazy, man. I said, man, I knew it, though. I was like, because I told myself, when bro told him to watch his player, I was like, man, the nigga was on some shit like he didn't want to watch it. I said, the nigga was on the phone. All you had to do was just keep an eye on the shit. I said, man, they was about to beat his ass the first day the shit happened. I said, but they let it go because they ain't had no proof of the nigga doing this shit, man. You know what I mean? He was like, bro, nigga said that's who stole that shit, bro. He said the nigga Tyrone stole the shit and sold it to the nigga Jesse, that's the barber. You know what I mean? I was like, man, this shit crazy as a bitch. So I was like, man, that shit wild, man. He was like, look, watch this shit. He was like, watch this. He called his roommate. The door opened up. He was like, hey, come here, man. Come here, man. His roommate walked over there looking like an ultimate coward. He was like, I said, man, who the fuck stole that player, man? He was like, man, Jesse bought that shit from the nigga Tyrone, man. He was like, man, goddamn, what it was. He said, what had happened was, he said, goddamn, the nigga Tyrone, he said, y'all sliders was still open. He said, Jesse was just coming out of our pod, about to go back to the barbershop. So he was like, he went in the our pod just to look, just to peek in real quick. Then when he looked up, he seen the nigga goddamn Tyrone grabbing the player off the kiosk. So he was like, damn, what new music you get? You got some new music? What you end up getting? So the nigga Tyrone was like, nah, I ain't getting shit. I'm stealing this shit. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga Ram. God damn it. He was like, what's that? That's the junk with the pictures? He was like, yeah. He was like, man, I'll buy that shit from you. God damn it. He was like, the nigga bought this shit from $50 send out. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. He was like, man, that's my word. He was like, I told him don't buy this shit, man. I said, that nigga just as wrong for knowing that was bro shit and buying it. You know what I mean? He was like, no. I was like, bro, he deserved that ass whooping, bro. You know what I mean? But I was like, man, look, I'm going to send Ram over here, come holler at y'all niggas, man. My man was like, yeah, tell him come holler at me, bro. Tell him I got some drinks. Tell him come over here and holler at me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, so goddamn, like, I didn't want to tell Ram everything. Like, I'm throwing everybody under the fucking bus because that's not my fucking job. But what I am going to tell him is that my man say come over there and holler at him. And they going to let him know because his roommate got the whole count. You know what I mean? So I went back to the pod. I said, yo, bro. I said, bro, listen, bro, you ain't going to believe this shit, bro. I said, my man say come holler at him over there. He was like, who such? I was like, yeah. I said, he got some drinks and shit. I said, man, he said, come holler at him. It's important. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. Then I'm gonna holler at him, you know what I mean? In the morning time, man, you know, we about to lock down soon. I was like, yeah. He was like, man, and plus, you know, we done beat dude ass over there, bro. I ain't trying to keep going over there, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him you gonna holler at him tomorrow. He was like, all right, you know what I mean? So like, even though he told me that the nigga Tyrone did that shit, man, like, to be able to have to look at his face, because I looked at that nigga, man, and I just was like, he looked like a sneaky, grimy motherfucker, y'all. So boom. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let him have one more night of peace. That's the best thing I got for him. I'm gonna give him one more night of sleeping in his bed feeling good with no bruises, man, because I wasn't gonna go back off the rip and just tell goddamn bro everything what was going on. I'm gonna let them niggas let him know this one. I already gave him the heads up about what was going on in the beginning and all that, you know what I mean? And he was able to find his player, you know what I mean? Now he got to holler at bro and them for the rest of the info, but I just knew, like, I just was like, yo, I just felt like he had something to do with this shit the whole time, y'all. That nigga Tyrone had something to do with that shit the whole time, because there's no fucking way in the world that somebody took that player and he didn't see them from that fucking phone. That's first thing. You know what I mean? So I already knew he was a lying cocksucker behind that. But he got away with the shit all the way up until they beat the nigga Jesse ass. So as soon as we went to breakfast, man, I looked up, I seen goddamn Ram going over there. You know what I mean? He went over there in 31 pod. It was still dark in the building. Everybody lights was off in each pod. But I seen bro over there. I seen that from the top tier, because I could see from the top tier. I could see him from my top tier in our pod. I could see him going into my man's cell where he at, where my man's cell is at on the top tier. So I seen him walking over there. So he stayed in the junk for like 15 minutes, then he come out. So he finally came out. He get back over in our junk. So when he came back over to our joint, he was like, hey, look, hey, Weezy, hey, holler at me when we come out, man. Holler at me when we come out. I was like, all right. I seen him shoot to his other homeboy cell. He said something to the man's homeboy in the door. Then he went to his cell. So when they locked us down, we chilled for a minute. Then we came back out. So when we came back out, he was like, hey, bro, look, you ain't gonna believe this, bro. I was like, what? He was like, man, you know they say Tyrone was the one that took my player, right? I'm like, bro, shh. I was like, bro, I heard that though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, how was it in? I was like, bro, how did he didn't see nobody take it? You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, bro, told me the whole story that he seen him take the joint, you know what I mean? He asked him, could he buy it? He said, when he said, before I left out of 31 pod, he said, man, I went back to Jesse's cell and I smacked the shit out of his ass for buying my shit, knowing that was my shit, man. He said, man, and we already had whooped his ass. He said, I just smacked the shit out of him before I left him out of there. I said, man, get the fuck out. He said, man, I smacked his head off. He said, man, that nigga Tyrone, he said, I got a trick for his ass. He said, I got a trick for his monkey ass, man. You know what I mean? I said, man, what you gonna do, man? He said, man, I'm gonna beat that nigga ass, Weezy. Fuck you mean? I was like, man, damn, man. I was like, man, that shit crazy. He was like, man, for real, you know what, though? I don't even feel like beating that nigga ass. He said, I'm gonna let my homeboys beat his ass. You know what I mean? He said, they want to do it anyway. My man wanted to do it from the start. I was like, man, shit, fuck that nigga, bro. I was like, no thieves allowed, bro. You know what I mean? No thieves allowed. He was like, yeah, I got a trick for his ass. So niggas waited all the way till they called outside wreck, the morning wreck, CEO to do his round, everything. They waited for all that shit, man. That nigga Tyrone slept like 5 cells from the bottom tier on the left. My word, I looked up. Them niggas was going in that motherfucker like bad dudes. Niggas going up in that bitch. Niggas went in that motherfucker. I looked. Seen a nigga round, goddamn, standing by the door like he was holding it down. He didn't have to go in there. Man, he went in that bitch, man. That's all you heard was them niggas scraping that nigga up. That shit sound like this. Alright, man, what the fuck? Let me stop. Let me stop. Man, they were beating his motherfucking ass, y'all. So boom. My word, Tyrone was just goddamn overseeing that shit. That nigga was just looking in the door like he had the fucking satisfied eyes. Like, yeah, beat his ass. Damn, right, they were beating his ass. All right, I'm sorry. And that's word, that's all you was hearing was shit like that. Niggas were beating his ass in that motherfucker. Nigga like, nigga, bitch, don't steal nothing no more, bitch. Fuck around with you, nigga. Nigga, you ain't getting your ass out this pod, nigga. Fuck with you. All right, man. They were beating his ass. Man, opened the door. It was like, man, you gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. Come on, man. You gotta get your dumb ass out of here, man. That's word. He was like, man, y'all good, man. Stop beating that nigga ass, man. Stop beating that nigga. This nigga a bitch, man. Nigga a bitch, man. That's my word. He was like, get the fuck out, nigga. He's like, all right, man. All right, man. He's like, man, get out. That nigga had to walk past I call it the gauntlet walk, because he was in the back of the cell. I'm standing on the top tier because I went down and just started looking at this shit. You know what I mean? My word. He was like in the back of his cell. This is his cell. His roommate on the top bunk. He's in like the beginning part of the back of the cell. Dude's like, man, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Ram holding the door. His other 2 homeboys is on the side of the wall, and he told him to stop whooping his ass. He was like, man, you gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Come on, man. Come on. He's like, all right, man. All right, man. He was about to walk past his homeboys. Homeboy was like, homeboy stole the other homeboy. Other homeboy caught him. This word, he walked by goddamn Ram. Ram hit his ass with the elbow. Man, get your pussy ass out of here. That nigga was like, he took them hits. He was like, nigga went to the booth. That's my nigga went to the button. And he was like, lady, come on the John. He was like, man, open the door up, man. She was like, for what? He was like, man, I gotta get out, man. I gotta get out. She came up and looked down. She was like, shit, she let that nigga out. Push. That nigga dipped out. That's my word, that nigga dipped out, man. You know what I mean? About an hour later, Lawrenceville bootleg as shit. People just come back and pack that nigga shit. That mean he didn't fucking tell, man. He didn't supposed to tell, man. That nigga stole the nigga player. Come on, man. Bro renting that shit out, man. Nigga stole the nigga player. The nigga didn't tell, though. Nigga checked the fuck in, and he stayed back, that motherfucker, man. I never seen that nigga again, y'all. Not joking. And like for real, I think Ram and them thought they was going to the hole, but they ain't give a fuck. That was worth going to the hole. Niggas steal your shit like that. You know what I mean? Them niggas put that work in. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That way that shit came out was nuts. You know what Ram was doing right after that shit? About 2 weeks later, and it was back renting that motherfucker out with bigger and better pictures. My word, man, that was his hustle, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. He was renting his player out, man. And like, it was crazy how everything unfolded. He was able to get his shit back, man. But you gotta watch out for thieves in prison. We don't play that shit in there, man. That shit get checked immediately, man. You know what I mean? And that's what happened with that shit, y'all. So that was a crazy situation. That's the end of the damn story, though. Man, I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all already know the count, man. Stay y'all ass out the way, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. But turn this video off for me, y'all. Like, share, subscribe to y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. And don't forget to hype this video up, man. Hyping the video means a lot. Hype the video. But y'all be safe. and stay your ass out the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.